Hello, welcome to Dave's Aquarium Thoughts. I'm Dave. In a previous video, I purchased the Hygger Nature Pro Aquarium Light, which is this guy. Well, this is the box to it right here. I do have it installed on this aquarium right now. But this is the Aquarium Nature Pro, the 957. This is one I purchased from Hygger, and so far I'm enjoying it. However, I do not like how it just sits right on top of the aquarium. I want it raised up, and I do not want it to mount on the sides. But you know what? Hygger has a solution, and let me show you what that is. But right now, I don't need that box. So what I got is something that Hygger sent me for free to do a video on it. So basically, let me show you what it is. This is the Hygger, which is the Retractable Aquarium Light Bracket, otherwise known as number-wise is HDY0014. It does work for a variety of lights that Hygger does have. It does work for the 957. It does work for some other ones as well, and I will probably post that on the screen. But I know it's the 957, the 978, and I believe the 999 and a few others. But I will post that on the screen somewhere. But Hygger was kind enough to send me not one, but they sent me two, so I could get this light mounted the way I like it, which is on the back and higher up, primarily not only for the lighting in the aquarium, but also the lighting on my plants I have back here behind the aquarium. Not behind the aquarium, but in the aquarium on the back end. The one thing I do have concerns on is the planter box. I do have those plants on there. I'm not quite sure on how well these will actually handle that, but let me show you what I'm talking about on that. But this is currently how they are mounted, where you have one bracket on the side right there, as well as one bracket on the side of here. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to use those mounts, and I'm going to mount it from the back. As you can see, I do have the plants back there using the little planter boxes I installed in there. I do have a video on when I installed that. I'm not sure if it's a video per se. I think it was a live stream I did create those on. So definitely take a look at that. The one reason why I do want to actually have it in the back as opposed to the sides right here, as you can see, when I had the old fluvels, I did have to cut a little slot right there to hold the Hygger light, and not the Hygger light, but the fluval lights when I had it, which I did install these lids with the nets, basically because I wanted to see better through the top rather than just seeing the glass. The glass always got a little on the dirty side. And with these screen ones, they do make it easier if I want to feed or get it into the aquarium. So that's one reason I installed this, which is one reason why I wanted to get rid of the area where I have the light going from here to the stair and then line it in the back. But anyways, not only fixes that, once again, it will raise up the light to where I want it to be. So let's get this unboxed, get it installed, and show you what it looks like. And like I said, I'm hoping it doesn't interfere with this planter box right here, which I think I might be fine. Now these do work with the rim tanks. I have a rim tank here as well as the rimless. So let me go ahead and get this unboxed and show you how it looks on my 40-gallon breeder right here with my Congo tetras and my silver tetras. You can't really see in there that well. It's still early in the day and the light's not fully on. It's still ramping up. So let's get this installed. Alrighty, so I'm set up here on the table where I'm going to open these up and put them together and get them installed on my tank. So let me show you the process on opening up and getting it all set up. So anyways, I have the two, although right now I really don't need the two in the same spot. So I'm going to move this one and set that off to the side over here and get this going on this one so I can open this one up and show you what's on the inside and how to put it together. So let me go ahead and get this out. And there we go. Nothing in the box. I'm just going to toss it off to the side right there. Don't need that either. So anyways, right here you basically have two bags. You have this, which is going to be the arm portion of it, as well as the part that goes on the actual aquarium. And right here you have the screws and bolts on that. So let me go and get this open. I'm going to start with this bag right here. I'm going to start with the control arms, not control arms, the arms of the stand, and let's get this unraveled. So let's see what we have here. All right. So what we have here is plastic that I don't need. We do have a little instruction pamphlet right here, which actually they consider it a user manual. This will have the instructions on how to put it together, how to install it, and probably warnings and whatnot, and what it works for, which lights it works for. It does not work with the thin lights, but it does work with the ones I have listed before. Includes the product features and other fun stuff that I will go through if I get stuck on anything. So let's get started here. Like I said, this is the portion that gets installed on the actual aquarium. You have one side that says Hygger with 4 holes, and you have another one on this side with 2 holes. Now it is going to be very, very important on which side you put it on, because the part that goes in the front should have the screws. It should have the 4 screws, I think, in the back, and then the 2 in the front. Gets really important when you have a rimmed tank, more so than the non-rimmed tank. But this is the other arm portions. So this one is, I'm guessing this part goes over the aquarium, and this hangs on the back. So this is probably going to attach. Yeah, that's probably going to attach like that with the screws. So all the screws and so forth is in here. So let's get this put together. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it together and show you what it looks like before I install it back on my aquarium there. All right, let's see what hardware we have here. You have these 2 brackets right here, which I'm going to have to figure out what this goes to, and a bunch of other screws. So let me go ahead and read the instruction manual, which is this thing right here, and see how to put it together. Or I might just put it together on camera and whatnot. So let me get this installed. Alrighty. So I figured why it is very important to read the user manual or instruction manual, because basically I had a few things wrong. This is still, of course, the base that attaches to the actual aquarium. And I had these 2 pieces. I had these confused. This portion right here, this is the portion that hangs over the aquarium. As you see, you have the slot to adjust where you want the light. And basically you do have these little screw holes right there, which basically what that's for is to run the cabling, the wiring that the light plugs into. That's what these are for, which connects to these little things right there, these little plasticky things that actually hold the wires in place. And they do have screws to attach those. These items right here, this is what basically clamps, this is what actually clamps the lights together. And then of course you have these little adjustment screws, which you can actually tighten and secure the light in place where you want it. So that's where that is. And then of course you have these screws right here, which is these screws right here. As you can see, you have like a little rubberized little part on the tip. That is basically, this is on the back where basically it holds the stand in place, which is why you have these 4 holes right there, and you just basically screw those in, and you can adjust it to how tight you want the stand on the glass, which you probably want to be careful on. You don't want it too tight because you might risk breaking the glass. So you definitely want to be careful with that. And of course you have some other screws in there. So let's get this put together and go from there. So first things first, I'm probably going to attach this to that. And you do get an Allen wrench help you with that, as well as a little screwdriver on the other end, as you can see right there. So let's get this going. And I do have these 4 screws right here. I'm not sure where I don't know why I need 4 of them. Oh, I know I need 4. There's the other 4 attaches to the stand right. The other 2 attaches to the stand right there, which is what those 2 holes are there for. So let me go ahead and get this put together. And then I'm going to take the base right here. This is relatively easy to put together once I realized what I was doing. So this one, I'm going to take that, and so that's going to attach there. Now the question is do I want to go from the back or the, no, I'm going to have to go through the front. I'm going to have to go through the front on that because that's how it works. So I'm going to hand tighten those ones. And then I'm going to personally, let's see, and then I'm going to make it tighter. Once again, this is also how you adjust it. So if you kind of have it loose, you could adjust the height just by sliding where you want it. Right now, I'm going to start with the highest setting because I do want these quite high, not only for the plants on above, because I don't think I need it too bright in the tank, but down the road, if I decide, no, that's too high, I could always adjust it. So I'm going to start at the highest setting and go from there. In the comments below, let me know how high should I have it. But anyways, make sure that's nice and tight. So that is not going anywhere. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these ones right here, and I'm going to put them where they need to be on these 4 holes right here. So one thing I'm going to do is I am going to remove that, and I'm going to basically screw this in on these little holes. This one I'm just going to hand tighten. I don't think I need the no, this is probably going to make it easier. I mean, I probably don't need it, but it will make it easier. It will make it easier in terms of actually screwing them in. I'm not going to screw them in all the way because I do need to attach it to the actual aquarium. Okay, so let me screw all 4 of those in. And then make sure you take your rubber tip right here, and once it's screwed in, you can put that on the inside. That way you protect your glass. So let me get the other 3 on there. Alright, so now I have all 4 of those attached to that, and I could probably just hand tighten those. When it's on the glass, I'm probably not going to use the Allen wrench to tighten in as hard as I go, because I really don't want to break my glass. That would not be good at all. So let me go to the next step and attach the light holders. So basically what you can do is you're going to just slide in that little slot right there, and then you're going to take these little knobs. I'm going to call them knobs, and then you're just going to tighten them that way, and just like that. There you go. There's one. Like I said, this is actually really easy to actually put together. I'm pretty much almost done with actually basically putting it together. All I need now is basically do some final touches here, and then attach it to the actual aquarium. Let's see here. So there we go. So that'll tighten up right there, and this also will tighten up right there. So I don't need these too tight right now, primarily because this is what holds the aquarium light in place. Honestly, you could probably put these in other lights too, not just the Hygers, as long as the light fits in those little slots and doesn't cover anything. But don't take my word on that. Do your own research on that. So, and then these pieces right here, I'm gonna wait until I actually get this installed on my aquarium to put on there. But these are just little holsters, which you do have little holes on there, and you just kind of put the screw in there and keep the wiring in place. So let me go ahead and install this on the aquarium and show you what it looks like installed there, and then I'll take care of the second one off camera because I don't think you need to see this again. So let's go over to my aquarium and get this installed on the aquarium itself. So here's the back of my aquarium, where I'm going to place it somewhere on this rim right here. I'm probably going to put it right here and hope it doesn't interfere with this planter box right here. But first, one thing I'm going to do before I try to install this is I am going to do some cleaning on this rim because it's a little dusty from not cleaning it. So let me go ahead and get that taken care of, and I will install it. All right, so I got that dusted off a little, and let's go ahead and take the light thing and see how it goes on there, and see if I can get in there with that plastic. It, this in here, well, it's gonna go. It'll work, I think. There we go. Let's make sure it's nice, and I'm gonna have to extend this out a little bit because the screw is interfering with it. Oh, there it goes. That's in perfectly now. Okay. And it's not going to be that big of a problem, I don't think. So then I'm just going to go ahead and screw these screws in towards the glass. That way it holds it in place. Start with that one. And we can go with this one. Kind of go crossing. So I'm going to do one end, and I'm going to do the other end. And then I'll do the other bottom, and then I'll do the other top. So let's go ahead and get this in there. And just enough so I get enough tension in there. I don't want it too tight. The one thing I do worry about is the stress that it puts on there, but I think it'll be fine. Otherwise, it'll be fine. I mean, you have hang on the back filters on the back of these aquariums too. They seem to hold fine, but it's just fish keeper worries. Once again, I'm just gonna hand tighten these. I'm not gonna use the Allen wrench on these because I really don't want to over tighten them. And it's on there. It's on there good. Let me just tighten this last one up, and then I'll show you what it looks like once it's in there. And I think this right here is a perfect height for this light. I don't think I'm gonna go any lower than this. So now, of course, if I want to adjust it, I will have to take this off, which is one drawback I see. If you do want to adjust it higher or lower, you will have to take off the stand and readjust the height. But let me give you a closer look on what it looks like. So there's a closer look. That end, of course, is going on the back rim. It looks like, I don't think it's on the glass as opposed, it's more on the rim. That's where it's kind of those things are holding on to. And then basically, of course, it goes across, and of course, that's where the light's going to be. And then I'm going to install the other one right over here. That way I have both ends holding the light on the aquarium. So let me get the other one put together and show you what it looks like with the light installed. All right, so as I was putting together the second one, I realized an issue I did not have with the first one, which is a simple mistake you can make putting this together, and I'm going to show you what that is. So let me go ahead and show you what the mistake is. There's actually two ways you can fit this in. There's the right way and the wrong way. Let me show you the wrong way. See how you have this, see how these two have, like, they kind of fit in together. You could actually fit them in this way, or you could fit them in this way. Which, as you can see, that overlaps on the top. This is the wrong way. Do not install it this way. So you want this one to overlap on this side, and that is the correct way. And not only does it look better, it actually fits better. So I just want to give you that fair warning, just so if you're putting this together, that way you don't make the same mistake I was doing. If you do it this way, the holes don't quite match up perfectly, and you're not going to be able to put it together anyways. This is constantly just fall off. But just a little tip. And here's just another tip right here. Grab your trusty level and make sure that the stands, if you're using the method where you have to use both brackets, make sure you have them nice and level, just like how this shows right here. That way, when you put the light in, it's going to be level and you're going to be perfect. That's if you are using the two bracket method, because there is a method on here where you only need one, and that's if the light, I think, is less than 30 inches. Unfortunately, this light right here is 36, so it won't work. Plus, where I have the hang in the back filter right here in the middle, it would not work. So that's one reason why I needed both, which of both actually add better support, in my opinion, for the actual light as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up there and show you what it looks like. So here is the 40-gallon breeder with the light risers that I have for the Hygger 957, the nature plant light. I love the way that looks. I love the fact that it's not sitting right on top of my aquarium. I like that it's mounted to the back as opposed to the sides, which now the next thing I get to do is I get to fix this ugly disaster right here, which is where I had the old riser at from my previous fluval. And as you can see on the actual light itself, it does not have those brackets that hold it on the aquarium anymore. It's a nice cleaner, it's a cleaner design, cleaner make. But basically, there it is right there. It's attached to the back, and I am liking it a lot. I will have to definitely keep an eye on it, how it works in the future. So definitely, of course, be careful when you install it. You don't want to damage your tank. I do have that worry, but then again, that's just normal fish keeper worry about having a burst tank. But I am loving this light. Even rising it a little bit, it is really lighting up my tank really well. Now keep in mind, this is not the brightest that this light goes. It's still ramping up for the daytime mode. It's still only around like 10:30 my time right now, so I have the lights turning on at like 9, ramping up until it really gets brightest around noon. I might take some video later on in the day and show you how it looks when it's fully lit up. So definitely take a look if you do have the Hygger lights that these risers look at. Well, have these lights that the risers work for. Definitely look and getting it. It's a great addition, and it works perfectly well with the rim tanks as well as the rimless. Just be careful on how you actually install it. I did see one review on Amazon which said, oh yeah, they had issues, it doesn't really work well. But looking at their picture, they actually installed it the wrong way, and they actually had the long part on the inside of the aquarium as opposed to the outside, which is one other issue. If you have your tank, if you have a tank closer to the wall than I have it, you're gonna have issues with that back end hitting the wall. Although I did see one video, I will link it in the description. It's another channel that has these as well, and they did a little modification with another riser that they had. So it's definitely not not something you. It's something that's fixable or whatnot. So definitely take a look at these. Once again, you can find them on Amazon through Hygger. I'll put the links down below for the Amazon. They will be affiliate links, so if you do click on them, I will get a little little kickback for it. Typically not much. Typically it could be like 30-40 cents, but it does help me out a lot, and I can actually invest that into the channel and purchase other things. Now these risers is something I did receive from Hygger. They provided to me for free. I did buy the light though. That I did personally buy, but the risers themselves, Hygger was nice enough to send it to me to do the video for it, to show it off. So definitely check them out. I will put the links down to Hygger as well. You can get them from the website. And they do have a program right now where I think it's you get points. So I think for every 10 points, you get like $1 off your next purchase. I'll have to look into that, but I'll put that in the description as well. And I do have a promo code that you could use, which is ATHOUGHTS. It gives you 10% off if there's no other good deals going on the website right now. So definitely check them out. So this is the light at 100%. This is how it looks with the lights on top right there. Using the risers. Still gets plenty of light inside the aquarium. And the other thing I do like is the fact that these plants in the back along the planters, they get light as well. Except for this thing right here, but that's going to be as good as it's going to get on that. But as you can see, the aquarium gets plenty of light as well as plants on the planter, and I don't have the light right on top of the aquarium. It's a little bit raised. The only other issue I have with this is, I don't know if you could tell on camera, but the angle of the things are kind of pointing downwards. I'm not quite sure on how to fix that. I've been trying to finagle it a little bit. All right, so I was finally able to actually get this relatively straight, and I think the Amazon review was right with the rim tank, is that the fact that how it sits on the rim itself, it just lent itself to actually lean forward rather than staying up. So what I was able to actually do, I don't know if you can see it in there. It's a yellow piece right there. Basically, that's just a piece of plastic. It's some kind of scraper tool, something I think I found in a hardware section. So I basically just cut it apart, and I was able to squeeze it down in behind the actual not the adapter, the actual stand unit there. So that it was actually able to keep it nice and straight as possible right there. And I did it on the other side as well. So that's definitely can't get access to that one to show you on that one, but now I do have a nice straight light. Basically, it's level on both, pretty level on both sides. I don't know if it's exactly level straight this way, but it's a lot better than what it was before. So definitely that is the one thing I would have changed from Hygger, is to fix that issue, maybe provide some kind of thing that could sit behind when, because I know they advertise this for rimless or rim tanks. Basically, maybe offer something to actually hold that into place right there. That way, it's not leaning forward. That way, it's nice and set. But I had the same issue when I had my Fluval Nano stand. What I actually did on that one is I actually got a couple pieces of Lego, which unfortunately I don't have access to right now. That's why I kind of use that plastic piece, but it does the same job, keeps it nice and straight. So definitely something to be wary of on this, and I hope something in the future that Hygger might be able to fix that. That is one of the drawbacks on this. But otherwise, it's a great unit. I do like having them on there. Like I said before, I do like the light raised up rather than sitting right on top of the aquarium. So anyways, that is the Hygger risers. I'll put all the links in the description below.